Hi, I'm Cody, and today we are going to talk about heat shrink kits. Heat shrink kits or splice kits, both are correct, and they are actually the same. Splice kits are typically referred to as heat shrink kits as they require a heat source to form the secure connection. Heat shrink kits may be small, but they protect wire indoors and outdoors. Heat shrink kits are electrically insulated and protect wires, the electrical components, and other objects. They also provide a seal that prevents liquid and solid contaminants from reaching any sensitive components. Heat shrink tubing is designed to insulate wires, providing abrasion resistance and protection from environmental harms for stranded and solid wire conductors, joints, connections, and in electrical engineering. They can also be used to repair any insulation on wires or to bundle the wires together to protect the wires from minor abrasion. Polyolefin tubes are the most common type of tubing for heat shrink kits. They have a continuous use temperature of 55 degrees to 135 degrees Celsius and are extremely flexible and fast shrinking. Polyolefin tubing is manufactured in a wide range of colors, including clear. Black tubing is recommended the most for outdoor applications. Typical applications for polyolefin tubing is electrical insulation, abrasion protection, and strain relief. Applications. Although heat shrink tubing is very popular in electrical applications, they are also commonly used to bundle loose items, mechanical protection from abrasion or cutting, cushioning from impact, thermal insulation, and protection from environmental moisture or UV light. Depending on the material that heat shrink is made from, there are two ways heat shrink tubing will work. Some materials will shrink the volume of the material, while other materials could cause the heat shrinks to expand. The original inside diameter of the heat shrink tubing needs to be large enough to slip over whatever needs to be covered. Then the tubing is shrunk onto the component by heating the tubing using a heat gun, flow-through oven, or any other thermal energy source. Always be cautious when heating the tubing. Heat shrink tubing can melt or catch fire just like any other plastic. Proper storage. Be sure to properly store your heat shrink kits. Any UV exposure can degrade the properties. A quick inspection of the product is a good indication of whether the heat shrink tubing sustained any damage due to poor storage conditions. To confirm the heat shrink tubing is not damaged before use, check if the tubing has discolored, stiffened, or is gummy on the surface. Shelf life concerns are not for all materials. Polyolefin tubing normally has a greater ability to withstand high storage temperatures. Myths. A common misconception that surrounds heat shrink tubing is that the tube shrinks. To squash the myth, the heat shrink tubing does not actually shrink. The tubing is mechanically expanded to hold the expanded diameter until heated. Then the tubing simply returns to its original diameter. Installation instructions. Strip a quarter insulation from the cable and motor wires. Remove any grease from the wires. Slide heat shrink tube over one end. Insert wires into the wire connector. Crimp to attach the wire connector to the wires. Pull lightly to ensure the crimp is secure. Center the tube over the wire connector. Use low heat shrink tube from the center out. When it is completely sealed, a slight glue amount should be visible. Let cool for a couple of minutes. Heat shrink kits have many uses and are very important. They play a vital role in submersible pump installations, but can also be used in other applications. The installation instructions will ensure a smooth and quick process with hopefully no headaches. This video is based off a blog called What the Heck Are Heat Shrink Kits? To view the original blog, head to bochartu.com.